Welcome back to Arkansas Bigfoot, everybody. It's Sunday, the 29th of December. I hope everybody is having a safe and wonderful holiday season. Ours has been pretty nice so far. Can't complain about any of it. I'm out here flying solo today. Rachel had some stuff to take care of this afternoon, so it's been uh, Christmas night since we were last out here. And that was when the rock throwing was going on over at the pond. And we had to go down to Texarkana, and I showed you that little bit of video over at Boggy Creek and that. And anyway, we just haven't been down here for a few days, and I wanted to refill the apples and check on everything. It's wet and rainy and drizzling, so if you don't mind being out here alone in the woods with me, let's go get all this taken care of. I first stepped down to this spot, something went crashing directly across where I'm pointing the camera at, but I couldn't tell you what it was. It sounded like it was fairly large, though. Came in from the side of the woods today trying to make a little bit of a shortcut so I wouldn't have to walk through all of the soggy bottom. I was going to share a encounter with you that happened back in 2006. We've been pretty hot and heavy into running a gold dredge and sluicing and running the high bankers and all through the east out around North Carolina, Georgia, and South Carolina area. And I had a itch really bad that I wanted to go out to Arizona. And we went out there because Rachel had some family that lived out around Prescott, or Prescott if you're from Arizona. Now I'm going to interrupt the story for just a minute because we've got tons of limbs leaning up against this tree now. I'm going to take a look at this real quick. Looks like some foot tracks right there. Well, of course we knew the apples and treats would be gone. She had left a bag out here that had a few pistachios and some dates and stuff like that in it, in a little sealed up bag. The bag is gone. Bird nest is gone out of the box. All the marbles. Well, I'm going to stick an apple back up in there, and now she's going to be kind of upset that she didn't come out here with me, but sometimes you gotta take care of other things. Well, there's the bird nest stuck where we put the apples. I'm going to be a little more frugal today. I only brought 3 with me, so one's good enough for here right now. That side all looks the same. We've got 3 more leaners on this side of the tree. And let's go on back and check the other stuff. So anyway, getting back to the Arizona story, we had gone out to the normal places like the Stanton Ghost Town and worked some of the GPAA claims around that area, and I'd been looking at different places on the Google Earth and geographic maps and all of that, trying to find areas that just hadn't been hammered by everybody yet. And we went kind of east-southeast to Prescott, in this one area, and you turn off of the main road, the blacktop, onto, it's all basically sand and gravel. And the way that you pronounce this area is Mogollon. They spell it Mogollon, Mogollon, but they pronounce it Mogollon. Mogollon Rim area that is about a mile up in elevation from Phoenix and all of that area. So we were up there on the rim and turned off of the blacktop onto this road that I wanted to explore, and we went a couple miles down it till couldn't go any farther, and you have to get out and walk. And there's a creek that runs through a big ravine area, and it was early spring, so there was water, which is, wonderful tool to have when you're trying to pan and work and look for gold. And that's where I wanted to go to, because it had accessible water that we didn't have to carry in. And up on the, I guess we would have been on the south side of the slope, and looking down across maybe 150, 160 yards, there's boulders that run all up and down the sides of the ravine. Some of them are the size of a U-Haul truck. I mean, they're just huge. Most of them are like the size of a Volkswagen or bigger, but it's just, boulders that rolled down and, deteriorated and made big piles and stuff, so it looks like a boulder city all down on that ravine area. And we were standing there looking around and deciding how was the best way to get down to the water. And I could see, and I thought at first it was like a black bear or something, but it looked like a hand or a paw or some kind of a combination between the two, kind of reach out from the edge of the boulder at the water, but then it scooped up water like a hand and disappeared back in behind the boulder. Well, this happened 3 times. Another 15 or 20 seconds goes by, and all of a sudden this thing stands up. And just a guesstimation, it's probably 7.5 or 8 foot tall. You could see the entire side of it. It was probably a dark slate gray, grayish black, the main coloration, but you could see what looked like frosted looking tips on its hair that were kind of a dirty red, rusty brown and gray, kind of a grizzled effect. And it just stood there at the edge of the creek for 10, 15 seconds and then disappeared in behind the rock boulders, and we never saw it again. So out in Arizona, they've got what they call the Mogollon monster, and I know that this was not a black bear. But that was in 2006 up on the rim in Arizona. So we're no strangers to running into just everything off the wall that you can think of. We've encountered it at one point or another. And to finish that, we never did go down to the creek after seeing that, and we just hiked back over to the truck and drove to a different area. Wasn't quite sure what to make or think or say about it at the time. Well, we're coming up to this big tree back here in the back. She had left 2 or 3 marbles, I think, sitting down inside the tree on the rock, and had this little bead necklace that had a couple 3 jingle bells on it that somebody had given her at work for Christmas to celebrate with, and I'm not seeing it. It's gone. It was hanging up on this little snag inside the tree here. And the rock's gone, and the marbles are gone. Well, let's bait this one up. You can see there's quite a bit more water back here this afternoon. We had probably a good day and a half of rain. But doing the gold mining stuff, we did well with it out in the east and found some when we were in Arizona. I'd love to go back there again and explore some more, and there's so much ground and real estate out there to tromp around in. They say if you like digging graves or digging ditches, you're gonna love mining for gold. It's about the same principle. And just get down in it and go with it. Holy crap, guys. I just turned and looked over here. What in the hell? I just had a chill run up me that felt like somebody walked over my grave. There's that blue blanket that we pulled out from under the pine tree up the trail. I didn't even pay attention. I was busy talking about Arizona. The cable is back here by this. They've got all this limb structure. And there's the little jingle bell. Holy crap, guys. We've got the rocks here. There's shoe and the shirt off of that campsite. The little plastic cup that we left. That's that pouch that was up there at the campsite. whole thing is built up around this now. It just had some brush and this overhang before. Now all these limbs and stuff are tied in and twisted in. You can see, there's a Spam can and a piece of that sweetgrass that we brought out here several weeks ago. You can see it looks like something's been laying right in that curve. We got a perfect blind going on here to guard it from the front and from the back. Walk around this angle and let you see it. Well, now that makes me wonder if that pile of stuff where the air mattress and all that other stuff, if that might have been where it had just drug everything before and was laying. Stuff that it's collected up in the woods. You can see something's been moving through this side. Rachel is going to flip out. You could lay right down in that impression and not be seen from the back side of the woods. Have a clear view of the waterway and that big tree where we've been leaving the apples. So this boy, girl, junior, or whichever one it is a collector of things. There's the grass braid, and there's the big blue marble inside the Spam can. And another marble. This is all matted down. Something's been laying on it. The day I picked to come back here alone. There's that tree we've been leaving the apples in. Had just enough rain. I'm hoping I see something more than scuff marks. I need to go check the edge of this water. Coming out from that ground blind, it runs out this way. And you can see, or I can see with the naked eye, it looks like something's walked right through here. I don't know, the waters came up enough that If there's something in that soft mud, it's probably underwater right now. I guarantee you when Rachel sees this, she is going to flip. Mm-mm. Just looking for one good footprint here. Something. Boys and girls, I think we're going to walk our little lonesome butt back up toward the house here. So. If you haven't already done it, please hit the subscribe, the like, and the share buttons. All your support's greatly appreciated, and we really enjoy having everybody coming along with us on these walks. We got that chance to go down there to Falcon around the Jonesville area and kind of get an eyeball of what it looked like there on the ground. I'm going to try to get back down there fairly soon. We had stopped and talked to a couple people that were out in their front yard, and a lot of that ground is posted, and obviously, you know, it's probably got just an endless string of people that want to come down there and, you know, take pictures and look around and, you know, basically do what we were doing. But the one guy gave me permission to go back on his place on the condition that we didn't say his name or show his house or anything up around the house. Just do all the video out in the woods, and I agreed and told him that was absolutely fine. I figured you guys would enjoy walking through some of that to see what it looks like. That is some thick, spooky looking place down there. Now let's see, we've got Predominantly in the Pacific Northwest, you've got your patty type, the Patterson-Gimlin film type Bigfoot. In the South, you got the wood boogers and the skunk apes. In the North and Northeast, you've got the Gugwe and the, I never can pronounce the other word. It's similar to the Gugwe, great big Winnesaka or something like that. The word escapes me at the minute. You got the Ohio grassman. He's a little more in line with the Pacific Bigfoot, only a little smaller in stature. Got kind of a mixture of everything in the central Midwest. Seems like they see just a little bit of all of it. It's kind of like a hub, and that would include, like Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Tennessee, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, places like that, in the central Midwest. If you guys have had any of your own personal sightings or encounters or anything like that, I'd love to hear about it. After all that rock throwing we had the other night, I probably shouldn't be out here by myself, but I figure it's probably just about as safe as driving down the road. Your time is up, your time is up. It doesn't matter what you're doing or where you're at. I could definitely think of worse places to punch the clock. Alright guys, I'm going to leave this with you for here, and I'm going to get on out of the woods. Like I said, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe, like, and share buttons. We appreciate everyone coming along. And I'm probably going to get an earful whenever Rachel gets home this evening, but hey, it's alright. We'll catch you later.